once again, tons of messages about, and this is of course UIF, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, and it falls under the Department of Employment and Labour. And at this point, if you have any questions, try and send them to me right now, and we'll see how many of those we can run through. We'll also try and open the line so you can put your questions directly to our guest this hour. Now, this arm of the government is responsible for the disbursement of funds to assist unemployed people who qualify for UIF during COVID-19. And some businesses trying to access the Temporary Employee Relief Scheme, or TERs benefit, have also been confused about who should be claiming and who shouldn't. And the fund has also been beset by complaints from the fact that there has been very little information communicated to the public, or that is the message that we are getting, and the website not working optimally. UIF Commissioner Teboho Maruping joins us now via Skype to answer some of these questions. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on Morning Live.
Good morning, Sakina. It's good to be on your show this morning.
Teboho, still a lot of confusion about who actually qualifies, especially for the Temporary Employee Relief Scheme. Please, can we just explain that as succinctly as possible?
We've been explaining this in different forums, radio, media release, and a number of communications that we've sent out, even our Easy Aid on the website. But the simplicity, Sakina, anyone who has an employer-employee relationship with an employer, where you are working there for 24 hours and more, the company is supposed to apply on your behalf. And is any company that is affected by lockdown. And we are not asking too many things. We are saying apply on your behalf, as a company, apply on behalf of your employees, and you give us we'll find the evidence ourselves. If your company exists and if your company has been contributing to UIF, we have all that information. So we just need you to apply online for your employees, and we'll do the rest for you.
So some employees complaining that either their companies haven't paid monies over to UIF, or companies not getting back to them with regard to UIF payments, and others are saying the companies, it would seem, have paid some employees but others not. Are you just able to explain to us in these different scenarios what relief, what recourse people may have?
Okay, on our online platform, we've introduced a number of permutations to enable South Africans to check who and how much we've paid. As an example, an employer can go online and check their payment status, which will show how much the employer has been paid on which date. But we've gone further and make it possible for individual employees to go there, put in the ID number. It will show how much we've paid the employer, the employee. And the employee will be able to compare against what the employer would have paid them. If we give them, say, 5,000 rands, but the employer paid them 2,000 rands, they can see on the UIF online portal how much we paid that employee. And we've also put the list of all the companies we've paid online. What we've picked up now of lately, many employees are phoning in to say, our company has not paid us, and yet UIF is saying we've paid them. We are aware of such situations and we are investigating them. In some instances, the company applies for 50, but they've only declared 10 employees. We pay the 10, and then the company takes the money and distributes it amongst the 50. In some instances, the company holds the money and not pay the money. We've also heard of rumors that company uses this as a loan to employees. Our investigators are busy investigating these cases. And in our MOA, we have a leg that gives us authority to investigate and take legal steps against such companies.
And then, Teboho, with regard to the legality of that particular situation, where you say where a company may have applied, say, for 50 employees, they are paid for 10, then they decide as a company they're going to take the money that they received for the 10 and distribute it amongst 50 employees. What is the legality surrounding that type of situation?
Well, simply put, it's illegal to distribute amongst the 10. because we've given the company a schedule of the breakdown of the 50, and we're saying to them, of the 50, this is the breakdown, the 10 has been paid. The other 40, we need you to declare them so that you can do a calculation and pay them. So these benefits are only due to the 10. And as they declare every day we do a recalculation and we pay them back what is due. But
Teboho, we seem to have lost you there for a moment, but let me just ask you another question that is coming up quite frequently, where people are saying that their companies have deducted UIF payments from them, but they seemingly now do not qualify when they try to access payment from the UIF. Is that something that you are seeing a lot of?
Yes, we've seen a couple of some of these experiences where people are saying, I've been contributing for 5, 15, 10 years, and yet when we come to apply, they say there are no records to show this. There's a number of permutations we've picked up. Some of the companies, they contribute to SARS, and as a result, the records don't directly show to us, and we've engaged our counterpart at SARS, and we've been able to correct these instances and pay these employees. In some instances, the company has actually kept the money for themselves. Now, that means they owe UIF contributions, they owe UIF interest, they owe UIF penalties. And we'll be sending our inspector to some of these companies where we picked up such negligent and illegal behavior for our inspectors to take the matter forward.
So, in that instance, what again is the recourse for the employee? Because you have made your contribution. So the fact that UIF was not paid is not your fault. So where does that leave the employee?
Yes, we've made it clear as a department that the burden for compliance lies with the employer. If the employee is able to prove to us that there is an employer-employee relationship, there's a number of permutations. We can see this with a legally confirmed pay slip that shows the deduction, and the contractual agreement between the employer and the employee. If necessary, we may even have to check the accounting details of the employee so that we can see that there is a relationship. We'll process the claim for the employee because we don't want to compromise the employee, and we'll tackle the employer thereafter. And they can still apply on our online platform, or they can drop the application in our drop boxes that are available in all the labor centers across the country.
All right, Teboho, we are going to go to news headlines, but we will continue this interview thereafter. So if you would like to call in, you are allowed to do so. UIF Commissioner Teboho Maruping with us, clarifying some of the confusion around UIF questions and especially around the Temporary Employee Relief Scheme or TERs. All right, that number is 011 714 5861, and we'll take those calls after news headlines with Leanne. Over to you now, Leanne. UIF Commissioner with us this morning, and we of course are answering a lot of your questions. As Leanne said, we have been chasing UIF to answer these questions for you, so let's try and run through as many of them as we can. And just a quick reminder, that number is 011 714 5861. You can call us right now, and we'll put those questions to Teboho Maruping, Commissioner at the UIF. And just before we get into some of the tweets and other messages, I believe we have James calling us from Johannesburg. Teboho, thanks for staying with us. James, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Please put your question to Teboho.
Teboho, I've got 28 staff members, and I applied at the end of March, and then or the old system. Then they came back. They said I must put on a portal, and I did put every employee on a portal. So now, end of April, they only paid one staff member. When I go back to the portal does not allow me any access of getting through and put those people manually. I called the call center. Nobody could help me. To date, my staff, they're still not being paid for April. I'm now scared of May, that even May, they are not going to be paid. So it's absolutely a disaster. I don't know what to do now.
All right. James, just stay there for a moment. Teboho?
Yeah, thanks, James, for the question. Yeah, what I can confirm to you, James, we've put controls such that you are not able to put duplicate employees on the portal. Now, in order for you to get through this, you need to go to ufiling.co.za and declare those employees that were not paid. Then we'll run an automatic recon and pay your employees. It will take over 24 hours for us to pay you. But you need to go on online platform, the uFiling, and declare those employees because we don't have their records.
Can't I email them to somebody, because obviously your system is actually like, it takes only for 3 minutes, and then from there it kicks you off. Is there a way that I can send those employees to somebody who can upload them for me? Because the system absolutely does not work, the online system.
Yeah, I don't know which system you are using. Please go to ufiling.co.za now and test it. It's working. If we do it for you, we're opening ourselves to fraud because you don't know who else can go into your profile and add employees. Before you know it, we've added 10 more employees that you don't even know. So we want that control to remain with you, the security to remain with you.
All right. So, James, have you been using uFiling?
Yes, I've been using uFiling.
So, Teboho, obviously, you're saying he needs to go to uFiling. He's saying to you that system is not working for him. Is there another way?
You see, Sakina, people, when they go to uFiling, they go to a different portal. The portal for COVID TERs, which he may have tried to use and update the information there, is not the same portal. For uFiling is where you do your declarations, you pay for your employees. We've developed a separate COVID TERs portal just for COVID TERs application. And they must just go to that uFiling portal.
James,
we tried it
can
with
I
Leanne
ask you?
the other day, and it's working.
Okay, James, can we ask you to go and try that right now, and then maybe just come back or drop me a message via Twitter, and we have your number, so we'll call you back before the end of the show just to see if you've been able to make any progress.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akina. Okay,
Thank you so much, James, because that is also a common question that has been coming through. Let's go now to Alex. Alex, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, and you. Alex, please go for it. Teboho is listening.
Thank you, Teboho, and thank you so much for making the time for the public and to answer some questions for us. But my regard is basically, I was one of the first people to apply around about the 1st of April. Now, I resubmitted due to the changes in application changes. Then I was advised to resubmit again online by doing every individual employee one at a time, which I've done. So I've received about 51% of my employees. I run about 4 different entities have been paid. Now the other 51%, which is about 121 employees, are still waiting for some due course. So I basically phoned every cell phone number, the 082 Eastern Cape number, BCP East London. I've actually emailed yesterday due to frustration the Minister's office, your office as well, sir, as well as many others, because whenever I phone the 082 number, they refuse to put me through to somebody who can actually assist me. I've emailed all the information to COVID TERs. I've emailed all the information through to what used to be COVID compliance and now obviously has changed to COVID declarations, COVID-19 declarations, of proof of my employees' declarations every month on UIF. And now the lady said to me, I must now go and declare every single person on UIF one at a time individually, even though before COVID-19 we were declaring employees every month, and that information seems to have been gone. So the general concept people have is that maybe the website or something has crashed, all the information has been gone. But my biggest concern is that there's no clear one person to speak to actually give you a reference number to and say, listen, this is my situation, I've done all of this. I've got probably about 375 emails that I've sent to various people, and nobody can seem to come back to me and tell me, this is your problem, Lex. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to fix it so we can get your employees sorted out. The application just says now, not yet processed, and it's been like that for now 15 days. And obviously the employees as well as myself, we're all a little bit frustrated because we keep waiting and we keep hearing the same answers, and everybody says to us, be patient.
Yeah.
That people are hungry, they can't pay rent, and obviously, there's major challenges.
Let's see if Teboho has some resolution for you here, Alex. Teboho?
Sakin, I think we need to be careful to generalize an exception and make it the rule, right? I can tell you today, we've already paid 11.3 billion rands. That's money that has been paid to over 2 million employees for over 161,000 employers. Now, how will that be possible if our system has crashed and is not working? Now, an exception that we've picked up for most of the employers is some of them, they have not declared all the employees, and we run that against our database. We've also gone to an extent of going to SARS to check those databases, and we've paid those employers. Now, what we're saying to some of the employers where they will not be able to be paid, there's a feedback I'm getting as I'm talking. I don't know if there's a line issue down your side.
We can hear you clearly, so you can carry on, Teboho.
Okay. Now, what I'm asking employers, go on our www.ufiling.co.za. Go and put your employees there that you have not declared. Once you've declared them on that portal, within 24 hours, we process and we pay. And we've paid a number of employers already that have been able to pay their employees. Okay. And we've seen that it's working because the number of cases that are outstanding is reducing every day.
All right. Alex, I'm going to ask you to do the same as we asked of the previous caller as well. Steve, can you please just go to UFiling, see if that works for you before the end of the show, and just give us some feedback, please.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a quick ad break, and then we're going to come back. Leanne, I'm sure you have some messages. I have some as well. Let's try and just do some quick fire question and answer with Teboho regarding some of the other avenues that the messages are coming through. But we'll do that after this break. Back, and we're talking to the Unemployment Insurance Fund, or UIF, and we have Commissioner Teboho Maruping with us this morning. Leanne, let's just try and run through as many of these queries that we are getting with the Commissioner, and let's start with some of those that you have picked up on.
All right, because I think we'll find a common thread between them, so we'll try and get through many. I'm not going to read people's names. I'm just going to put the issues across, Commissioner, and hopefully you can answer them after I've gone through a couple of this. But a lot of them are referring to domestic workers. Please, can we get assistance on domestic workers, because it seems that is, I'm finding a common thread. People are very, very concerned about domestic workers, and they are not getting their UIF. Another one is, and I've gotten a couple of these ones as well, every time people log in and they try and fill out the forms, it says their account has been locked. What does that mean? It says you must contact the call center, but they can't get through. They send numerous emails, there's never a reply, and they try and phone, they can't get through. So that is the one big thing that's come through as well, locked accounts. The other issue, I'll bring two more up to you, Commissioner, before you try and tackle them. The other one is about a lot of people fill out forms. They may have 100 employees, the number varies, but they'll only find out that 2 of them have been paid. Why? Why do they not all get paid if it's coming from the same employer? Then the final one is foreigners. Foreign workers who have been paid. The company's been paying UIF for them. They then apply for UIF, and they are not eligible to get it. Those are the 4 big ones. Perhaps, Teboho, you can start with those for us.
Thank you, Leanne. Let me start with the profile change. Yeah, we put systems controls on our online platform because fraud online is rampant, and people can go onto your profile and apply on your behalf. Now, what happens if you try more than 3 times, different permutations on your password, it locks you. And I think a number of people has forgotten to write their password down when they log in. But we've simplified the controls on that profile, but it's risky. So people can try. We went live yesterday with a simplified password control measure that also enables you to get an SMS to update your login details. With respect to domestic workers, I can confirm today that many domestic employers, many domestic employers are applying. As I'm speaking to you now, more than 8,000 domestic employers has applied for 11,000 domestic workers, and you've already paid 44 million. So once again, as the minister did before, and the Director General did, and the Deputy Minister, we are saying domestic employers apply for domestic workers. We pay for them, we treat as an employer. We are already paying numerous domestic employers, and we've already paid 44 million rands to domestic workers as I'm talking to you now. So it's working, and we are paying within 24 hours, between 24 and 48 hours we are paying. With respect to foreign nationals, it's not a simple matter, colleagues. When a company applies for a foreign national and we don't pick up the records on our database, we need to confirm with Home Affairs. We've also taken a step to use our colleagues at SARS to confirm some of these domestic workers. Just 2 days ago, we paid over 52,000 foreign nationals. And we are doing this every single day to pay the domestic workers as we are comparing our records with SARS and Home Affairs. Just to confirm that these individuals are in the country legally, they are all the legal papers we process as we receive them. I've already responded to the companies that have applied for 10 and we paid 2. We are saying to these companies, the 8 people, we cannot find them on our database because we have to declare them every month, pay their contributions. UIF is an insurance, and like any other insurance, you need to pay, or else you are going to be paying fraudsters that you cannot find on our database, and where we cannot confirm if there's an employer-employee relationship. But every day, we are updating our database as people go to our online portal and update this relationship. We pay every single day as we reconcile the record. We pay the necessary amount to the employer.
Teboho, just a final note from my side, and I'm sure Sakina's got a lot of questions for you as well. There seems to be a lot of despondent people out there saying that you never reply to emails, that obviously you are overwhelmed at this time, but is there no way of an automatic response coming from the UIF to at least let people know that you have received their claim and you will get back to them in X amount of time? Because people feel like they're sending these claims into thin air.
Thanks for the question, Leander. We are aware of the situation. We've done a number of changes on our online portal. Employers can go on the online portal. They can already check the status of their claim. Employees can do the same. We also have added a complaints function on the online portal, such that you can put your complaint online and you can track it and see the progress. The other element that I can give to South Africans, use uic.enquiries@labour.gov.za. uic.enquiries@labour.gov.za. It will come straight to my office, and I have people in my office who are dealing with these inquiries.
All right, we'll try and put that up for you as well so you can take that information down. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and answer more of your questions with the UIF Commissioner Teboho Maruping. Do stay with us. Employment Insurance Fund Commissioner Teboho Maruping answering your questions. All right, let's take a quick call from Rifense. Good morning.
Good morning, Sakina. You?
I'm good, thanks. Rifense, you can go for it.
I would like to quickly find out, am I able to go to a labor department and then see if application has been made in part from my employer?
Okay.
And to also like check if can they also give me evidence of the company having received money from the labor department? Is it possible?
Okay. Thanks so much, Rifense. And I think you touched on this, Teboho, but maybe just to give clarity once again with regard to what Rifense is asking.
Okay, yeah, Rifense, you don't have to come to our offices. You can go online, Department of Employment and Labor, and you go to COVID TERs. You'll see there's a tab there that says My Payment Status. You can put your ID number, details on how much has been paid to you and on which date. You can even see online if your employer has been paid any money.
All right. And then, Teboho, there was a question
Yes.
that Leanne had also put to you earlier regarding people being referred to a call center to reset some of their account details. So the complaint here is that people can't get through to the call center, so they can't reset their details. What do they need to do in that instance? And then this one says, in regard to UIF, my company is sending SMSs saying that salaries will be cut, but they are receiving funds from you. So how does it work? Can you just give some clarity on that, please?
Okay, let me start with the first one. You can go online and reset your password. As I said earlier, we launched an upgraded solution this morning at midnight yesterday just to deal with the password issues. So you don't have to call the call center. Go online, update your password. It enables you to send to your cell phone.
All right.
Now, with respect to these employers, as UIF, we send to the company the benefit amount that has been calculated. It may come below your salary, which is possible. Now, I'm not too sure what is the ground for the employer to communicate to their employees about reduced salary and the cutting of salary. It's an employer-employee relationship. My scope of work only limits to they pay them less than the benefit amount that we paid to the employer. In that instances, we expect the employees to come to UIF and complain that you can do something about the employer.
Okay. Teboho, remember we asked the first two callers to go and try that U-filing. James is back to give us feedback. James, welcome back. Have you tried it and how's it working for you?
I tried it, and then as soon as you put, because there's somewhere where you need to choose whether it's a South African citizen or it's a foreigner. As soon as you put a citizen, South African citizen, then the system kicks me out. So I've tried it 3 times now. The system still kicks me out. I'm doing it manually, like on the system, but it kicks me out. Totally kicks me out.
All right, Teboho?
What does it mean is doing it manually?
Like the individual, like I'm
because I went.
Carry on, Teboho.
Yeah, you see, Sakina, this is exactly what I said earlier. When we discussed earlier, we spoke about the passport, the password change. If you're doing the password change, you must go on the U-filing portal and change your password. If you've applied before, you don't have to go back and add your employee because we already have those records. It will say you are adding duplicate employee because the records are there. All we need now is for you to update on the U-filing the declaration.